Hello, everybody. I'm just trying to. There we go. The timer is going. Here we go. Pre-show lunch. There we go. We're live.
As soon as the music ends.
Why are we getting? Okay, now why are we getting? There we go. We're live. Oh fuck! Hang on. I know
As soon as
why.
the music ends.
I know why. It's another fuck up. There we go.
Isn't it great? New technology. DK gets a brand new setup, brand new computer, and now we just repeat things over and over and over again. Last week it was whatever drops we're playing, whether it be the intro, something in the middle, or the outro. It was just stuttering for a while.
I think I found the solution to that, though.
What do you think the issue was?
It was that I was so remember we were talking about the SSD and the whatever hard drive.
Right.
So I was sharing it on the like the remote terabyte drive, and apparently maybe it took too much to upload, so it was stuttering. So I made a shortcut.
Okay.
And we shouldn't have that problem tonight. But then, because Facebook will not allow me to share until the story goes live, I had to switch over to Facebook, and the video started playing, and I couldn't figure it out right away that we were double dipping, let's say.
Well, sometimes double dipping is enjoyable.
And I'm right now sharing everywhere. Thank God it's easy. You can multiple share. And I should be done in about 10 seconds. How's your week going?
Well,
Radio pre-show.
Yeah, let me just tell you. Speaking of stuttering and all that, so I told everyone, I guess last week or 2 weeks ago, about my Plex Media server.
Oh yes, yes.
So what I ran into was a buffering problem. So these movies, the Blu-rays that I ripped are large files. They're 25 plus gigs, most of them. So on playback, I had noticed some buffering going on. So I was doing a lot of Googling, trying to figure this out. I know it wasn't my internet connection because I'm on the gigabit connections, plenty speed on there. So I'm doing all these things because I run Fire Sticks. So I'm deleting all the cache from the Fire Sticks. I'm running what's running in the background. I'm trying to delete background apps or stop running background apps. All of this. So I got down to it, and there's another program. There's a program called Handbrake. So what I use is a program called Make MKV, which rips your movies and makes them into MKV files, which is just a movie file that Plex can read. There's another program called Handbrake, and Handbrake compresses everything. So I originally started off with everything I read before I built the Plex server was like, yeah, use MKV and Handbrake. But when I tried to use Handbrake to compress one movie, it takes like 3 to 6 hours. So it's like, fuck that, I'm not going to do that. It turns out I have to do that. So I took one movie, I compressed it. It took 3 plus hours to do. Watch it back and play it fine. So I've done a few movies and watched them all back, and they play back fine. So now what I have to do, I've done, was it 16 movies now? I have 41 to go that I have to compress, and each taking somewhere between 3 and 6 hours to do. So but that did fix my my buffering problem, which was good. but now I just have to compress every file that I ripped. So I've stopped ripping things and I'm just going back now and compressing everything.
So you are eternally frustrated at this point.
Well, no, now that I finally figured out the issue, and all playback has been fine. I started doing this earlier in the week, and playback has been flawless since, which is good. But now I just have to go back and recompress, or not recompress, but compress all these files that I ripped.
But during the initial watching of the movie, you must have been terribly disappointed.
Oh, it was ridiculously, like you said, frustrating, because I'm watching a movie and every minute it would buffer. It becomes unwatchable because you sit there, you get into a scene, and then it stops, and then the wheel spins. And it plays for a few seconds, and it stops, and the wheel spins. It's like, Jesus fucking. But I realized what led me down this path is I realized, because I ripped Blu-rays and I also ripped DVDs. Now DVDs are much smaller files.
I thought DVDs are smaller. I was going to say, I thought the Blu-rays were the gargantuans.
The Blu-rays are the big files. DVDs are smaller files, and I wasn't having any problems watching the DVDs that I ripped. They're about 2 gigs, between 2 and 3 gigs file size. I'm like, maybe what? Let me just try. Then that's when I got into, let me just try this Handbrake. I'll run it overnight and play it back the next day and see what happens. And it worked. It literally took the first movie I did was about approximately 27 gigs. It compressed it down to 3.
Oh, okay.
I went from 27 gigs to 3 gigs, and it, you really don't notice. And this is the other thing I was worried about with compression: is the video quality going to deteriorate?
Right, because when you compress even audio, you're sacrificing some of the highlights, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I must say, because the program Handbrake gives you a wide variety of presets that you can save to. So I'm saving to 1080p video. It's just compressing it into a smaller. It's again an MKV 1080p video. Just making it a smaller file, and I must say the playback looks great. I don't really notice a downturn in quality, which is really good. So that's my process now. I right now have in the back there, I'm running whatever movie I'm running. I don't even know. Just sitting there compressing, and then I have a queue. So luckily Handbrake has a queue, so you can set up 3 movies at a time, and after one's done, it'll just start the other. So I can.
And it's already buffered.
Yep. Yeah. Everything. I have not had a buffering problem since I started compressing the videos.
See, now where I come up with buffering is when I'm trying to watch a UFC fight on a stream, which of course I'm not paying for, but you didn't hear me say it. And right when the best part happens, it starts to buffer. There's nothing more annoying.
And that's called transcoding. So that was another, I went down the whole route of transcoding. Now, transcoding is basically it's taking the file and recoding it to a playable file on your device. Whereas, with Plex, an MKV file is a playable file, so it's just direct play, so there's no transcoding involved. What you're doing when you get the buffering is transcoding. So that leads to a lot of buffering if you do not have a device that can support whatever file is being sent over to you.
There you go, folks. So even on the pre-show, we have entertainment, and you learn a lesson. Tonight you learned about transcoding. We are about 40 seconds away. I think we got a big show. What are we on now? Episode 3 of season 7 is about to take off. We are 1 week away from our Halloween. I haven't even started, and I'm stuttering. I'm just like Joe Biden. We are about a week away. We've got some great announcements, some great surprises coming up for next week's show that I think you're going to be happy with. And we also, I think, have a pretty good show lined up for you. It's going to be hard to top that that girl being peed on in the thing. Anyway, the countdown is over. Let us begin with the show, ladies and gentlemen, right here on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and of course, CaveCrewRadio.com.
This is a production of the Cave Crew Radio Network at CaveCrewRadio.com.
From the center of the universe and around the world. Available on demand wherever podcasts are found. From Ontario, Canada, DK. From Queens, New York, the Big B. And from London, England, Choo Choo Stew. Live broadcast every week on Facebook, YouTube, and at CaveCrewRadio.com.
There was a time when the world turned their back on men. Men with a dream and savage yearning within them. Legions compelled by passion that knows no boundary. A consuming flame that defies plausible explanation. Battling the forces of domestication, they find the courage to band together to experience the awesome power of being men.
I say this with all due respect.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Tonight's broadcast of The Masculine Feminist has been commandeered by the secret society No Ma'am.
Gotta go to a place like a shot and a beer, steak, man. Saying we can stop, get pancakes, and then we'll get laid, all right?
Why do you drink ice cold beer on a hot day?
Mr. Craven, what else are you gonna do with it?
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
The Yankees are champions of baseball! It's a power play goal!
This is Cave Crew Radio.
Hey. Indeed, it is Cave Crew Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. My name is DK. We do have a very big show planned for you tonight, but apparently Big B has dropped off the map. But that's okay, because I usually ramble for a little while here anyway. So while we're waiting for Big B to reboot or whatever it is, we should probably check our messages. Nothing from Big B yet. He is in Queens, New York, and he will be here very shortly. There he is. See, he just likes to test me, is what he likes to do, ladies and gentlemen. Anyhow, as I was saying, my name is DK. I am live from my cave in Ontario, Canada. It is great to be here with you tonight on Cave Crew Radio, live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and of course, live on CaveCrewRadio.com. We are 1 week away, ladies and gentlemen, from our Halloween spectacular on October 30th. We're going to be talking about that very shortly. We have lots of surprises in store for you. But we still have to get through tonight. We're going to take you around the world. What's going on with us? What's going on around the world? And we've got some crazy stories. There was one we couldn't get to last week that I know Big B was chomping at the bit in the Cave Crew Radio Facebook group. So big shout out to Jason Scott in Cornwall, Ontario. Thought he was supposed to be working at Walmart right now. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, from the center of something in Queens, New York, ladies and gentlemen, Big B.
Yes, live from Queens, New York, I am Sir Big B. And this week we are the epicenter of everything Halloween.
Halloween, wonderful. We're getting so close.
As you may or may not know, this is my wife's favorite holiday. So not only do we have decorations outside, decorations inside, we're getting things ready for school Halloween things. She's making more baskets. Now she's making treat bags. We have if Spirit of Halloween was a home, it would be this place.
She is Halloween Town.
Holy Christ.
Now, are we going to see her at some point during the show, sitting down at the couch next to you, filling some grab bags or putzing with a Halloween craft?
I don't think so. Right now, she's actually outside with my little one who's playing with the neighbor. They're running around the backyard, and she's doing treat bags outside.
Oh, wonderful. Now, so COVID has not affected Halloween in the Big B household at all. The spirit is alive.
Of course. It's my wife's favorite holiday, so she goes all out for Halloween. I personally could give a flying fuck about Halloween. But, because I live here, I have to be involved.
See, I love Halloween. I love scary movies. Last week I turned on the Halloween shows, the Michael Myers shows, and my wife and I watched a couple of those. And we used to decorate a lot when Jake was smaller. He doesn't trick or treat or anything anymore, but I love it. I'm looking forward to the Halloween show. It's such a mystic, powerful. How does Mrs. B feel about the fact that the Great Pumpkin will not be airing on regular TV this year? I'm sure you have that on your Portaplex or whatever you call it, but
we certainly do have it on my my Plex media server. We have all the Charlie Browns on there, but it's not so much the TV shows. Like she could really care less about that. It's more about the decorating and the spirit and all of this, whatever.
So it's got nothing to do with any of the scary movies or any of that. So you're not being tied to the chair after the show watching, the Friday the 13th series and Exorcist and
No, not at all. No, this is all about decorating for Halloween and putting outside lights and all of this stuff, and just it's like what you do at Christmas time when you decorate and all of this stuff and you go all out. She does that for Halloween.
It's not for Christmas though.
No, we do it for Christmas too, but
Halloween is the kickoff. So she's not Wiccan. She doesn't have a Ouija board at the kitchen table or anything like that.
No. It has nothing to do with that. She likes she dresses up in the costumes and, goes out, she loves going out, bringing the kids trick-or-treating. She gets dressed up as well. And, it's a whole thing.
And what is Mrs. B dressing up as this year? Do we know?
It's going to be a Star Wars theme this year. So my
nice.
little one is being a stormtrooper. My wife is being a Sith.
A Sith. So she's gonna have that red face.
She got this like witch wig that's got the gray and black hair in it. She bought contacts, some colored contacts, and I don't know what she's doing with the.
Is she gonna have like that really cool lightsaber that goes on both ends?
She's trying to get a lightsaber from somewhere. Okay. I don't know if it's going to be the one on both sides, but
that's what the Sith have, right?
Well, that's one of them.
Okay.
Like Darth Vader didn't have one.
Oh, and he's a Sith if you're real.
Yes. So it was only one that had on both sides.
Exciting stuff.
It's not. It's really not.
I love it. Now, let's see. Now, at my house, even though no one trick or treats anymore, my wife will go and indulge in a shopping spree of the bonbons. All the different small chocolate bars, and I like the potato chips and stuff. But I'm not a candy guy. I'm not a chocolate bar guy. But she makes sure we are still well stocked, because I think more than the kid misses it. I think the wife misses going through the pillowcases and sorting out. Oh, I'm gonna grab the Smarties,
right.
But
Oh, and one thing I just remembered. So in getting prepared for Halloween now, because of COVID, because of the Rona, things are a little different. So they usually my younger son's school usually has a Halloween party, and my wife does all the work for the Halloween party. It's usually
Right. She's the chairman of the
she's
board.
the chairman of that that party, and they'll do all the decorations. Obviously, they can't do that this year. So what they're doing now is a trunk or treat. So there's going to be cars lined up outside of school, and one by one, the class is going to come down, visit each car, and do trick or treating by the cars. So my wife is decorating, as I said, this is a Star Wars theme this year. I don't know what she's doing, but she's decorating my car.
So you're going to be driving to the grocery store on the 29th.
Yeah, I have to drive around in this thing, and I have to be there, obviously, during this trunk or treat.
Of
And
course.
she's
You have
trying to get me to dress up, and I'm not doing it.
You've got to. You
I
even
am
dress up for
not.
the show. You even put a mask. Usually,
Yeah, I put a mask on for the show. I leave it on for 5 minutes, and I take it off because I get too hot. I'm not sitting around in a fucking costume, in driving around my car.
you're
It's
the
not
most
gonna happen.
miserable son of a bitch.
And I'm glad of that.
You should dress up as a giant coney dog.
I will not.
Oh, God, we could have so much fun.
I do have my mask here.
I know that's for next week.
That's for next week.
Yeah, we look. One of the things we still do is, and I don't know what's going to be out there, like you said with COVID, is we always like to do. When Jake was smaller, we'd take him trick or treating. I would. The wife would stay at home and hand out candy, but I'd always make sure there was a speaker playing the scary noises, and I'd have things hanging from the tree and all that good. We don't do that anymore. But one thing we enjoy doing is driving around, and I'm sure you have the same thing there, where some people, like you were saying, are more into Halloween than Christmas. And there's some really cool houses. I don't know what's going to be out there this year, but I almost enjoy, you also drive around, look at Christmas. Oh, look at the pretty Christmas lights. Yeah, having a good time. Put a little rum in my eggnog, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, some of these houses, you drive by them and they invest every year in their whole season, their whole year. They don't probably even do Christmas. The displays that they put together every year. You watch on TV those Christmas light competitions and shit, and how much money people do the same with Halloween.
Absolutely.
And it's great to drive around and see the smoke coming out of the garage and characters dressed up and crazy sound. Better sounds. They got Marshall Stacks doing the sound effects. It's cool. I don't know if we're going to see that this year. I really hope we do, because I enjoy that. That part of it I enjoy.
You may see it more this year because people can't go out and do things. So you may see it more this year.
Because you got to give them credit. Like there's this one at Christmas, we drive by this one street and they have a can out and it all goes to charity or whatever. We always donate because fuck, your electrical bill must be through the fucking roof.
Right.
But yeah, I too enjoy Halloween. It's not as much fun without a little one because they don't get excited anymore. No one's a horror freak like I am. I'm not a horror freak like some people, like they live for it. I mean, but I enjoy a good scary. I like those campy 80s horror flicks. They're fun to watch.
Those cheap 80s, awful flicks.
They're awful, but they're good. You know what I mean? Like it's.
All right. So what's your favorite horror movie? Since you're a horror guy.
We're going to talk about our guest coming next week, but I've told you before who he reminds me of. And my favorite horror movie since I was a teenager, and I might have been a little inebriated on, illicit drugs, but I'm a big Stephen King fan. I can't read his books. They're like fucking thicker than a bunker wall. but I love Children of the Corn.
Okay.
Is my most. It freaks me out.
Mhm.
You know, in the middle of these corn rows, this fucking town of Gatlin, Nebraska, and these kids, of course, you know, Isaac and Malachi, and these two people go in, and of course their car breaks down and all this shit, and I love it. I love Children of the Corn. I also like Jeepers Creepers.
Ooh.
And a little bit more on the side, I also enjoy the Saw movies. Just the more the suspense
Right.
than the horror. You know, like who's gonna survive? How are they gonna get out of that trap? Yada yada. I like the Saw movies.
See now I have to ask you, since you like those movies, but I don't hear a mention of the really, really good horror movies like The Exorcist, which is my favorite,
The
or
Exorcist.
the Omen,
I
stuff
like
like that.
the Omens.
Amityville Horror.
I read those books. I read the Amityville Horror. No, I'm not into a house that breathes. I like the Nightmare on Elm Street because that could be possible, right? Like it's in a dream.
Mhm.
Mildly like Friday the 13th, but you get sick of it after a while, right? Like,
But like The Exorcist.
Exorcist is amazing. This is one of the best. The Omen, the original Omen.
Right, the original Omen.
Yeah, with that little kid. I mean, Damien. Yeah, I love them. But for some reason, if I could, right now, we said, you got to put on a movie, a scary movie. What would you? I'd pick Children of the Corn.
Okay.
And if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's probably made, what, 80s? I don't know.
Yeah, it's 85-ish.
Yeah, and there's like 9 of them, but don't bother because they're all like cheap, stupid.
Mhm.
You know how they do that sometimes? With
Right. Oh yeah, of course.
the original one is like a Stephen. I love Stephen King. I love The Stand, the miniseries, The Dark Tower, all that shit. I love it.
See, it's interesting that we're discussing this because earlier today I did have one DVD to rip, and it was The Mummy. Now there's several iterations of the movie The Mummy, and I had no idea which one it was because it was just it was an already ripped DVD that I had just wrote The Mummy on. So I put it in, and I rip it onto my computer. It turns out it is the 1932 Boris Karloff version of The Mummy.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I thought you were talking the one with Brandon Fraser because I actually enjoyed that too.
Right, that was as we're going through like an old binder of ripped movies that I have on DVD. Well, I was like, "Oh, The Mummy, I like that movie." I said, "I'm not sure that's the one." She's thinking the Brandon Fraser one. Yeah. And I find out today it's the Boris Karloff 1932 version of The Mummy. And it's so interesting what horror movies were, right? Because those were horror movies back then.
Right. And Bela Lugosi.
Yeah.
The Vincent Price movies. Those are all good too, if you have time to watch them. They're scary in a different way.
In a much different way, that's right.
Like Psycho. The original Psycho, not the shit remake.
Mm-hmm.
The one with Jack Nicholson that they remade too.
The Shining.
Red Room.
The Shining.
Yeah, that was good.
That was one of the best horror movies ever. I ranked that up there, right there with The Exorcist. The Exorcist, The Shining, and The Omen are probably the 3 best horror movies ever made.
Right, and
in my opinion.
More suspense than gore.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I don't like a lot of these gore movies, like like the Friday the 13th was, the first one was good, then it got stupid. I like the Halloween series much more than the Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
Michael Myers a lot better.
I watched those all last week. They have a little bit more of the story keeps going.
I think it's a much better put together series than the Friday the 13th series. But again, it's like slasher films.
Yeah.
I like the intense, dramatic, psychological horror movies like The Shining, and even though The Shining does have some gore in it, it's more dramatic. The Omen and The Exorcist.
How about Misery? with James Caan, and you know what I mean? Like that was you remember the guy crashed his, that was a like suspenseful, scary.
Yeah, that was much for sure psychological thriller horror movie, because this obsessed fan gets her hand on her and keeps her in her house, keeps him in her house, and of course we all know he breaks his ankles with a hammer.
Well, yeah, and she also like drugged people out of you gotta watch it. But no, I agree with you 100%. I actually remember, I don't know if we were kids or like in our 20s, and we were watching Night of the Living Dead, or one of those zombie movies where they're continually like eating people.
Right.
And after about 15 minutes, you're like, let's order a pizza. Like it wears off on you.
Right.
Like, I agree with you 100%. Like, suspense is, even when, I know this isn't a horror, but you think of like Jaws when it first came out, right?
Great movie.
Dun, 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 dun. It was just waiting, and you never really saw, I guess, when the broad got bit and the guy got cut in half. Again, there is some gore, like you said, but it's more you're waiting, and the thing that jumps out of the corner at you and shit like that is far more a scary movie.
Absolutely.
Than constantly watching someone, chop people.
Yeah, absolutely. There's another movie that comes to mind from when I was a kid, and I'm sure you remember from the 70s, is the remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Good movie, yeah.
That was I forget when the original was made, but the remake was in 1977-ish, and that was really good too. I remember being scared of that movie when I was a kid.
Yeah, those was like, again, not a horror movie, but you go to like the original Poseidon Adventure, right? Like the guy's hanging there, and Gene Hackman's cranking that thing, or Roddy McDowell's, cranking up that ladder, like Shelley Winter, I think some poor lady, something happened to her, but it's more suspense. Silence of the Lambs was actually, I don't know if you consider it a horror, but it was a scary movie.
I would consider that a horror.
Yeah, like it was scary. Like it's more hanging you out on a string, or whatever you want to say. Like I don't know.
Well, it's a psychological thriller, so to speak, that it goes along the lines of the horror. As I'm doing this, I'm coming across some movies that were like, are they really horror? But if you think about it, they are. And a movie like I just watched the other day, 1 Hour Photo. If you don't know what that is, Robin Williams played an obsessed psycho that worked at a photo lab and would steal pictures of this one family, and became obsessed with them. And that's actually a horror movie, but there's no gore, there's no blood, there's no nothing of that in there. But it's a horror movie because of the way it's presented, the feel of the movie.
What's the one where Michael Keaton is like the tenant of the hotel? I don't know if you ever saw, not a hotel, he's like a tenant, and these guys, I think Brandon Smith was in that, I don't know, anyway, and they bought the house, and this guy like he just drove them crazy, and he was, oh God, I wish I could remember that.
I don't know that one.
Anyone in chat, give me a shout.
I don't know. I'm going to look that up now.
Yeah, Michael Keaton, and he was like a tenant. He's another great actor. I think of the things he's done. Like Jack Frost, Batman. He's done it all.
I always loved the movie Gung Ho. That was a great movie, and he's a great comedic actor.
Yeah.
He is, and obviously Beetlejuice. He was great as Beetlejuice.
Now, would you consider Cape Fear a horror movie then, because of all the suspense and what Robert De Niro put Nick Nolte through?
It could be, yeah. I mean, it certainly could be. That's more of I guess it's like a psychological thriller. but it could be a horror movie because of the obsession and the way it's presented, just like 1 Hour Photo.
Isn't it great to always see producer Scotty, aka Scott Morris, who has a podcast over on. I have a new podcast. I talk about stupid shit, and it's like 15 seconds long, and he does one episode, and then you don't hear from him again. And of course, he thinks Michael Keaton is lame. You never have anything positive to say. You live with 14 cats and 10 dogs, and you put them all in your kitchen. Did you order a shirt and a face mask yet? That's all we want to know.
That's a good question.
Tomorrow is Jason Scott's birthday.
Oh my goodness.
God, I remember that song I don't even have it anymore because I switched computers. We used to have a birthday song we used to play everyone. Happy birthday, Jason Scott. You look nowhere near 37 years young, but I do think it's time that you marry Amanda DeRose and do the right thing and stop stringing that girl along.
I agree 100%.
Yeah,
and I'm sure I can't wait for birthday party pictures from the local Domino's.
Yeah, but he did her right. Those Thanksgiving pictures with, I don't know if it was his in-laws or hers. We haven't known anything about that yet, but he brought her to a nice place. They even put potatoes on the gravy. And Scotty's still trying to watch 9/11 Day. That's really scary.
He even put potatoes on the gravy.
Oh, did I say it wrong? It's Amanda. I apologize. Amanda, I love you. You're on Facebook. You're part of the group. I feel so ashamed about that. Anyway, Jason, you need to do the right thing. You need to put a ring on that gal's finger. Now, I got to tell you a story. Now that we're on rings for a minute, really quickly, I got to divert while you're looking into things.
Please.
Wife calls me today about 5 to 5. Work's almost over. It's a Friday. We've had a stressful week, yada, yada. And she calls me, hey, I didn't feel like texting. Thought I'd give you a call. I said, not a problem. Great to hear from you. How's your day? Oh, day's going pretty good. Yada, yada. What did you want for dinner? I said, well, it's show night, so I'm good with anything. You want to get a pizza? I really don't care. I'm thinking Kentucky Fried Chicken. I'm like, that's awesome. She knows I love Kentucky Fried Chicken. They're always so subtle, and I'm just warning you, Jason, as you continue. Oh, Amanda's there. Put a ring on it.
Oh, there it is.
There we go. I did not know Amanda was watching, and Jason, hide it under a mushroom on your Domino's pizza. I don't care what you do. I don't know. I'm not trying to start shit, but so anyway, just so you guys know, if you don't know me that well, I've been married a long time. I've been with my wife well over 20 years, married, 19? I've lost track. Anyway, she's telling me, I'm going to get Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's awesome. And it's show night. Would you like me to stop and get beer so you don't have to? That's amazing, sweetheart. And she goes, well, you know how much I love you. And I said, yeah, I love you too, sweetheart. But I got wrap up. I'm doing some work. And by the way, DK, I had to cut my wedding ring off today.
What?
I'm like, you what? She's like, my finger was swelling. And the ring was bent. I said, okay, you got that right, Scott. She wanted something, and I'm getting to it. And so anyway, I'm like, you know what? You think after 22 years or whatever it's been, I don't know, since we, like I said, married 19, I really wouldn't give a shit. I'd really, really, really like a hall pass, even with that one-eyed wonky girl. But, I'm like really distressed about this. I'm like, so we're going to get it fixed. Well, maybe I'll just get a band and yours is kind of bent. You should get, I'm like, these things were blessed. Like, are you at least going to take the diamonds and get them into we need new rings.
Oh boy.
I'm like, what next? You want me to get a penis transplant? Like, this is really stressing me out.
Oh boy. New
I
ring.
just cut my ring off. Jesus crow.
So when
You should
are you
watch
going?
every replay for the past 7 years, by the way, Amanda.
When are you going to renew the vows? Because that's next.
Well,
so not only are you going to get new rings, but there's going to be a new ceremony to renew the vows, and everybody's going to be invited. And I hope to see Jason Scott and Amanda there in newlywed bliss by that time.
I love Scott Morris's positive influx into the show. She wants a new man. No, she doesn't. She wants more gold. Anyway, but I don't know. I was mildly distressed by all this. I'm like, the rings are blessed. Anyhow, that's the story I have for you.
Oh my God. But you know, saying the rings are blessed is not really an argument because you can get new rings blessed too. It's not like a big deal. It's not like it's a family heirloom. Like, oh, these were my great grandmother's rings.
What if you could peel your tattoos off your arm? They have meaning.
Right.
Yeah. And I can't believe I'm defending my wife because I would never do that on a normal day.
See, Amanda says too, you can get them blessed again.
Oh, Lord. Yes. I know. I'm far too sappy over this. I know it doesn't fit my character at all.
I'm just saying that that's not an argument. They're blessed. That's not an argument.
Perhaps I will get her a gold-plated vibrator, and then she'll leave me alone to watch football.
She'll never leave you alone to watch football.
Yeah. Actually,
there'll always be something.
Explaining the rules. She's starting to understand it a little bit. She doesn't like the same teams I do because apparently their undergarments don't fit as comfortably as, the other team. I guess like the Dallas Cowboys colors make their bums look better.
Oh my! So I think I have a good idea.
Everybody's got feedback on this situation. Let's get to the original situation. I may not have a ring on my wife's finger anymore, but I've been with her for 20 years, Jason Scott. Do the right thing. Call Domino's, get a fucking ceremony together, and we'll live broadcast it.
Well, this was going to be what I was about to say. If we go down the road a little bit, we have a nice Cave Crew special where we have you and Mrs. DK renewing your vows in an all-out vow renewal extravaganza, followed by the ultimate wedding of Jason Scott and Amanda. I think that would be a wonderful show for a Cave Crew Radio special.
Well, maybe in 2021 we'll be able to pull that off. We are both in Ontario. We're about 9 hours away, but I'm sure we could meet halfway in the Kawarthas or something. But the thing is will Jason Scott actually show his face in wedding pictures?
Well, now you're asking a lot. I think even next year, I think as things go away.
Could you imagine me officiate the wedding? Instead of kissing the bride, it wouldn't be that nice.
I would like to see you in an official referee uniform to officiate the wedding.
Now go back in the freezer and procreate.
See, and Amanda's down. Now we got
of course she is.
We're painting Jason into a corner. You know that.
She's
right?
been waiting forever for someone to be on her side. And we got your back, Amanda. All right. Since everybody is here, I have a special fun thing to do right now. I just got to find it.
Scotty wants you to go to Pittsburgh for the honeymoon. Nothing says romance like Pittsburgh.
I want to go to Pittsburgh. What the fuck is there in Pittsburgh besides smog?
It's the most romantic place in Pennsylvania, I guess.
I wouldn't go anywhere in Pennsylvania, so I'll concede to that one. But what am I gonna do? Like parasail through the smog over the Pittsburgh Three Rivers?
You can take a wonderful tour of all the steel mills.
Yeah, go watch a fucking Pirates game.
There you go. You can go to the Pittsburgh Steelers training camp.
Yeah. Take a selfie with Ben Roethlisberger or whatever
There you go.
his name is. Anyway, I digressed. You guys in the chat room are awesome tonight. We got a lively bunch here. There is no fog. No, I said smog, as in pollution. Fog is what happens when like the clouds form and then a little bit of humidity. Or
Right. He also says there's no steel mills. So where do they make steel, Scott?
why is it called the Steel City then? You're
Right.
all in Niagara. What the like?
The Pittsburgh Steelers for making steel. This is where U.S. Steel is made there.
Isn't that where they frack or whatever it is?
Well, they frack all over the country,
Oh.
but this, Pittsburgh is where steel is made. Hence Pittsburgh Steelers. Hence the Steel City, like you said. It's where steel is made.
This is like having Choo Choo Stew here tonight. We never get to the things we're supposed to get to. And there's no smog.
Apparently, smog goes everywhere but Pittsburgh.
Right. It's not Peking, DK. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I know y'all love Choo Choo Stew. And last week we were past history. All right. So, yeah, everything. It's shopping malls and butter tarts.
Butter tarts.
Anyway, lattes, whatever. You're not in Seattle anymore. He's from Seattle, right? So another place where they have a lot.
I have no idea. I thought he was from Pennsylvania.
Nothing makes me feel better than when producer Scotty tells me I suck. A guy with 8 cats and 3 dogs in the kitchen. Anyway, we love you too, Scotty, and we appreciate it. You should buy a mask, by the way. So last week we were explaining to you about Choo Choo Stew. We showed you a picture, and he's been away a while, and I'll elaborate on that in a little bit. But let me remove the show thing here and bring in a new picture. Here is another picture of our beloved Commander Stu. Isn't that, why can't I get him to be the big one?
He looks like a transgender Princess Leia.
I'm going to put him on full screen here. We have, hang on, audio recording coming in from Commander Stu. Here we go.
Hello? Come in. Hello? Come in, over. Come in. Can you hear me? Yes? This is Commander Stu from the Starship Allotment. My coordinates are 2009.23 Alpha Alpha Black Stuff. Over. I'm currently unavailable to join you guys on the show this week, but I am listening via the podcast download, and I'm sure everyone realises that Cave Crew Radio is available to download from every podcast platform in the universe. Yes, even out here on the Milky Way. My current mission is to circle the great land of Stenchlandia, along with my experienced crew of gypsies and my wonky-eyed first mate. Once we arrive within earshot of Stenchlandia, we're going to fire out our fart-powered cannons and expel a massive amount of the black stuff and horse manure on the ground. This should expedite the self-sustaining energy at home base. Until next time, please tell my wife and family I love them. Commander Stu of the Starship Allotment, signing off.
Choo Choo Stew from the Starship Allotment. Ladies and gentlemen, this just in. And I never take his word from it, but he texted me today. He's got an easy week. He's doing some training. He's landing back on Earth once he goes to the continent of Stenchlandia and prepares things for us to arrive, Big B, and take our rightful place.
Mhm.
You as Sir Big B, the Duke of P. Choo Choo Stew will be joining us on our Halloween special.
Ooh. Nice.
Well, of course it wasn't interesting to you, Scotty, because you don't know who Choo Choo Stew is. He's really, it's like, he's like spamming us tonight.
See,
Choo Choo Stew, ladies and gentlemen.
I like when
Choo Choo Stew.
I like when Scotty comes on because it gets under your skin.
Well, we should call him. We should get Scotty on the show one day because he tells the best stories. Like him and Angie. Are you still with Angie, by the way? If you could let us know. But let's talk while we're at it. Falling so far behind. Let's talk about next week. So now we've got Choo Choo Stew, announcement number 1. You are not British. You're from fucking Seattle. You sound like you're from West Virginia. You sound like that dude from Days. Who's like Spicoli who used to order the pizza on Fast Times at Ridgebond High. Oh, he's free now. Oh, we got to get him. He's finally. Who got the cats and the dog? I got to move on with this show, Scotty. You got to contact me so we can arrange to get you on the show. You're free of Angie now?
He dares you to call.
I can't right now. I just we'll fit you in over the. It's exciting, but it's not really that exciting. I'm dying to know about Angie. I really am. And who got the dogs and who got the cats?
I like the fact that he's just daring. I dare you to call.
Like what's
like this is like such a big thing. I dare you to call me right now.
I'm gonna ban you from the get-go. Next time you come into my gas station in Pittsburgh.
Wait, so I have a question for Scott, and then we can move on because he'll answer in chat. Where is Steel made now, Scott?
Answer you right now. I love getting him going.
Where is Steel made right now if it's not made in Pittsburgh? Tell me.
Where the fuck are the dogs and the cats? That's what I want. Did Angie run away? Where are you staying? Are you living in your car, or do you currently have the 19 cats and the 4 dogs in the kitchen and you're still eating out? I thought you guys were getting married. I thought we might have a triple wedding with Amanda and Scott. Oh, geez, I'm disappointed.
I still don't get how the cats stay in the kitchen. Cats roam wherever they want.
Remember that?
I still don't get that.
Yeah, but you were there that night.
I was there, but I don't understand.
It was so normal. It was like, why would we let them anywhere else in the house?
Right, but
living room, for fuck's sake, cook in the goddamn kitchen.
Good times. He lost audio.
Okay, well, we're just shitting on you anyway. All right, so I got another. So here's the other announcement. Okay. Let's get this up. Let's take a quick break and listen to this promo next week. We've already announced Choo Choo Stew. Here is our next guest coming on the show. He's the Amish comic. He's been with us many times. He will kill you if you're not pissing your pants for 90 minutes straight. I don't understand. Amish comic Halloween special.
It wasn't just a video, just a lot of abstract, craziness that doesn't make sense. It's supposed to midnight, something evil's lurking.
How about that? If you don't agree with the thing, don't have to comment on it. That's what the problem with social media is. We are compelled to let everybody know all the stuff we hate. It should be changed to hate book because that's what people do. And they post something on there. Here's why you're wrong and I'm right, and you're a dick, and you're not going to win any arguments. You're not going to convince anybody. It's a simple thing that I talked about on my show before. Stay away from shit you hate and focus on shit you love. You'll be much happier. You don't have enough life in you to love all the shit there is to love. Don't waste any of it on hate. And I am concerned that this need to battle and scream about what we hate, and people do it all the time. They're like somehow their opinion
doesn't make sense. It's supposed to midnight, something evil's lurking.
Things are starting to get really weird in here. You're listening to DK, the Big B, and Choo Choo Stew.
Cave Crew Radio. CaveCrewRadio.com.
Big announcement in the chat. Scott's back.
Well, thank God for that.
Welcome back, Scotty.
We missed you.
From Pittsburgh, the city that no longer produces steel.
None whatsoever.
Anyway, testify, Big B. What are the folks looking into with this dude? He is a fucking 1910 Amish guy.
He is
whatever.
He is a full-blown Amish guy who left the Amish world, but still dresses and obviously has the beard and all that, but lives in the Western world and is nonstop energy and funny. Out of all the guests, and I've said this many times, he is my favorite.
And he hates me more than you do, Scotty.
Because you can't pronounce Amish.
I say Amish, same thing somewhere. Now that's Jason Scott and Amanda, where we will go on a honeymoon is through the Amish land in Pennsylvania.
Ooh, you could go visit the Amish Comics house.
Yes, I love Raymond the Amish comic.
He's great
because
he is wonderful and very funny. He is really nonstop. What you said for 90 minutes, it's 100% true. There is no stopping him.
I just don't know what to expect, what's going to be coming out of his mouth. And he's a fantastic guy. And if you haven't seen him yet, I think he's been on the show now 3 times, at least. Fantastic guy.
And he does because of the pandemic, everybody had to adjust. He's doing live YouTube videos every weekend. So look up the Amish comic on YouTube, and you can see all his past episodes.
We'll promote that. Absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, I digress, but in case you didn't realize it, and I know that's why you're all here, he's back. Scott Morse, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
The Brit from Seattle, Pittsburgh.
All right. We got too many things. Scotty, we're going to get you on the show. We're going to have a choo-choo mania between me and you.
We should put together another choo-choo mania. The first one went off really, really well.
Really well.
We just never revisited it.
Yeah. Well, it went well for us.
That's all it should. That's all I care about.
I don't know if it went well for Choo Choo Stew and Chris Ripka, but
I was fine. That's all I care about.
Yeah. Well, you and I had a great time. Who came to see you? Anyway.
It's just random statements now.
Yeah, take a look at his picture. He doesn't even comb his hair in the morning. And we're lame. Yeah. We have a lot of listeners anyway.
Wait, I should feel honored now because he always tells you "fuck you," but now I'm involved. I'm lame, so yeah. I'm honored now.
Yeah, you're lame.
I'm in.
You're the one-legged Aborigines, whatever.
I'm with the in crowd now.
All right, so some of the people that join us on Friday night, I'm not going to. He thinks he's a trivia champion. This is way. Okay, I'm done with you. Keep chatting. Bye. We've got to get some news. We've got some good news stories, and I know some people come to listen to that. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you've been watching or reading this week, but here's what we've got for you. The gentleman you see there, Big B, in case you don't recognize him, is a fellow by the name of Jeffrey Toobin. He's got connections with CNN, that New York magazine. I don't want to read this. It's like 10 pages New Yorker. That's the one.
Yep.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman here, let's bring him on screen so everyone gets a good look of him. Nice looking, very intelligent man. Jeffrey Tobin's career is now in jeopardy, Big B, after a Zoom masturbation incident.
Well, then.
The career of Jeffrey Tobin at the New Yorker and CNN is hanging in the balance after the famous journalist was reportedly seen masturbating on a Zoom call with colleagues, sources told the media. The New Yorker, where Tobin has been a legal correspondent for decades. He's been writing on everything from the O.J. Simpson trial, the Trump-Ukraine controversy. The 60-year-old scribe has now been suspended, according to Vice, that he was seen masturbating on a Zoom call. One former staffer at the magazine said she believes his 25-year career will come to an end because of this incident. How do you go back and look at your colleagues in the eye, she said, when you end up with the front page of the New York Post? It's bad.
Yeah.
Another insider said, while the cringeworthy incident showed poor judgment. Yeah, poor judgment. I'm on a fucking business call and I'm wanking my yak. The main victim was Tobin himself and the family. How is he the victim in all of this?
Oh, they're trying to protect their own. It's no, it wasn't him. Really, he's the victim. How? Like you said, how? Nothing. I love the fact. I love when these people who take themselves so seriously and think they're all high and mighty get caught doing shit like this. Like him, Louis C.K., who was jerking off in front of fucking female interns or whatever the fuck it was, would corner them and jerk off, make them watch him jerk off. Kevin Spacey, all these people who go on all various types of media and spew all this high and mighty bullshit, and they get caught doing stupid shit like this. I love it. I absolutely love when this happens.
Get me into Jeffrey Tobin's mind, because what I really feel right now, Big B, is like the cheese is falling off the cracker here. You're on a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Maybe an hour, maybe 2, 3 max. You're preparing whatever you're up to with CNN and the New York. What would cause you at that moment to feel the need that you need to masturbate? And I think I have my camera off. I gotta step away for a minute. I rub one off in the back. The audacity of this fucker.
Yeah, that's why I love when these things, and they say his career may be over. Great. I'm glad it is, because he's a fucking jerk off to begin with. No pun intended. It's and let's look at this from a normal human standpoint. I'm in corporate life, so are you. We're on various conference calls or whatever throughout our work weeks. At no point am I turned on that I have to, feel the need to jerk off while I'm talking about fucking, wireless access points, and I'm sure you're the same thing when you're talking about fucking, tanks of propane. You're not getting a hard on talking about these things.
I'm more worried in a Zoom call, to be completely honest with you, that I'm going to fall asleep. And I've actually had nightmares of it. That I swear to God, this is a true story. I've had a nightmare since this world of Zoom has come with COVID, that I was literally asleep during a Zoom call, and like my boss called me after, and it's not really appropriate. You were sleeping, not wanking the Franklin.
Right. It's not even like somebody else was on the call and he was in the background and didn't realize and thought it was a good time to, rub one out. He was on the call himself, jerking off.
And I'm wondering, was he dressed like that?
Probably from the waist up. Nothing from the waist down, apparently.
I don't get it. I honestly, I've got no problem that guy going to his bedroom after the Zoom call, whipping his cock out, getting some Vaseline or some KY, whatever the fuck you people use, and yanking one off. Closing his eyes, imagine it's Barbara Walters, whatever. Share. I have no idea. How do you allow yourself as an intelligent person who's covered the O.J. Simpson trial, the Trump Russia scandal? What place are you in?
Again, knowing his writing and seeing him on television, he thinks that he's above everything, and he can get away. He can do whatever he wants. So hey, why not? I'm on this pointless call. I'm gonna jerk off because I don't need to be on this call. Well, now guess what? Hopefully your career's over.
Well, and listen, at the same time, I don't have a problem. You're rubbing one off. Do you really need to hit the Zoom or whatever button you hit? And you're obviously there was reason to give up. It wasn't your facial expressions there, Jerry.
Or it could be the arm, doing this.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, CNN, my favorite place.
Everybody's favorite fictional news site. Much like the Babylon Bee, you have CNN.
Which, by the way, we're running out of time. I don't really want to get into it, but I forgot to ask you, are you still guaranteeing that in the next 11 days or whatever it is, Donald Trump will win?
Yes.
I can't wait to hear what Scotty says. He's probably still thinking.
I guarantee it.
He probably still thinks Hillary is running. Anyway. And we had to get to this because I knew you wanted to talk about this. This one was posted in the Cave Crew Radio Facebook page group. Sorry. Yeah. And I got to find the picture for this one. Hang on. I can get rid of fucking Jeffrey or whatever the fuck his name was there. That's what I'm looking for. You know what I'm talking about now.
I have questions. I have lots of questions.
I knew you did. And I said in the Facebook page, I said, wait till next week. And I believe it was our good friend Jason Scott that broke this story.
Wow.
I think it was. I'd have to go
I
back.
believe it was. Yes, I believe it was.
But whatever. Man stopped in airport with more than a kilogram. I don't know if you want to get your calculator out or Google this, of gold up his bum. A man who was observed walking slightly strangely through an airport turned out to have a number of gold bars stashed away in his bum, aka his ass. The Indian man, we're not throwing shade on anybody here, folks, who probably for the best has not been named, has just traveled on a Go Air flight between Dubai and Kerala when he was discovered by staff. The amount of precious metal that was discovered in his arse eventually totted up to around a kilogram. Wondering how much that is. You don't have to be an expert pawnbroker to know that he was carrying a lot of gold. You also don't have to be a proctologist. Realize, what is it?
Proctologist.
Proctologist. Thank you. You've obviously seen one. That this is a lot of anything to have stuffed in your backside. Anyway, It's thought that the man was attempting to get the bars into Qatar airport to avoid paying the 18% tax on gold. He was spotted by members of the Air Force staff walking a little strange. Well, yeah, you would be. And was stopped and checked by security officials from the Air Intelligence Unit, aka the AIU. The billion-bottom smuggler was then taken to a secure area of the airport and searched, and they found his shiny cargo. Fire away with your questions, Monsieur B.
When I first saw the story posted by Jason Scott, and Amanda clarifies that it's definitely a Jason Scott post. I looked at this picture, and to me,
let me bring it up.
This picture, those 3 bars, look like loaves of Italian bread.
I was going to say garlic bread, but yeah,
Same thing. You make garlic bread out of Italian bread, but they're long loaves of bread.
it's a lot. How long are your fucking intestines?
And that was what I'm getting at. And now it's not pliable like bread is, it's solid. So it's not going to bend. So how are you getting these 3 things up your ass? Now,
there's 4, by the way.
The 4th one is a smaller little thing.
The 4th one is like when you're done a poo and you squeeze your ass and the last little piece plops out.
Right, that's the one that floats around in the toilet, and you got to flush 12 times to get it down.
Yeah.
But these first 3 are literally like, it looks to me from the picture they're over a foot long.
Yes.
Now that's 3 of them. How physically, how is this possible to put up your ass? Because again, it doesn't bend. It's solid.
I'm wondering if you were the airport security guy and you were interviewing Armoire, aka he probably calls himself Frank when he's answering phones. But would you say, do you like the big one? Like, once you go gold, you never go back.
What kind of training did you do to get this? I mean,
I'm a greedy guy. I like to make money as much as the next person, but I'm not shoving pieces of gold that are shaped like garlic bread. They don't even look like clean bullions. Did anybody make sure it's pure gold or not?
Yeah, it's not like these are shiny gold bullions that you can exchange very easily. These are long Italian bread looking fucking gold ish bars. And now again, they're straight. So how do you get it through your intestines?
See, you're more worried about Frank, the guy they didn't name.
Well, I'm trying to understand the physics behind
more
this.
Concerned about the guy or the gal, the ones in the airport pull their pants up too high with their walkie-talkie and their mace on one side, and you got the rubber glove on, and you're the one nominated to do it, and you reach in, you probably think you're going to get like a little squishy bag of cocaine or something,
right?
And then all of a sudden you start pulling this out. And you go, whoa. And then the other one starts squirting through.
It's like they were helping a cow give birth.
And were they put in horizontally, or were they all like one against each other vertical? Like,
well, I can't see how that would be possible to put in horizontally. I mean, that's physically not possible. That's wider than the entire ass.
I can't see how they'd be possible to line up one like in a row. What do you do? Velcro them?
I don't, but if you go in like this, that makes more sense than trying to fit it in like this.
Yeah, but there's got to be over 3 feet of gold there. How long is your upper intestine or whatever the fuck it is?
Right, but if you're going to put it in horizontally, how wide is your fucking asshole?
Neither one of them makes sense.
Well, yes, I grant you that. But I mean, and obviously, there's no way possible you can sit. If you have this up your ass, there's no way possible you can sit down.
Scotty's asking me if he was doped up. He obviously had some kind of Novocaine in his ass. I have no idea what he did. This is why we're discussing it as a group. We're discussing it. Yeah.
And it's not like gold is illegal. All he had to do was pay a tax on it.
He didn't want to pay so that's what I'm asking you. I know you'd never do this, but would you really want to go through? I'm not even going to call it pain. Would you want to go through that much discomfort of the feeling that you got to take a shit that bad to pay 18% of what? I don't know what it's worth. $180. I don't know how much gold that is.
I'll figure it out. But so to get back to the original question, 1 kilogram of gold is 2.205 pounds.
That's a lot of gold.
So let me see what the value of 2 pounds of gold is. But again, like, you know, to walk around like you're a fucking scarecrow with a fucking stick up your ass, there's no way.
He was walking a little awkward. I can imagine. Was he like the leprechaun of Kathmandu? Is that who he was? Like, who is this guy? You took me coins. I don't know.
Hold on. Let's see.
We're going to get a value on this gold, ladies and gentlemen. That was apparently in this guy's ass.
Gold purity, whatever. Value $55,440 USD.
Well, what's 18% of that? Now it makes a little bit more sense.
55,440. Okay, hold on.
Hey, Kyle James in the chat.
What's up, Kyle?
He says, dude, just 1 ounce of gold is a shit ton of money. Kyle James, I got to ask you frankly then, would you shove bullions of gold up your ass to avoid paying an 18% luxury tax?
So that would be
question of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone out there, we got a great chat room out there on YouTube and Facebook. Would you shove? It doesn't have to be that much. Let's just say that small little butt end that Junior left, the piece of garlic bread he didn't want to eat. Would you shove that little piece up your ass to avoid 18% luxury tax from Dubai to, where was it? Kukar?
Whatever, I have no idea. So we figured out that 1 kilogram is 2.205 pounds of gold. So I did the conversion and found out that just using straight up 2 pounds of gold is $55,440 US.
Amanda says no way. She just wants Jason Scott to put it on your finger. You better make sure that ring wasn't up his ass when he's smuggling it from Quebec, though.
And I think to save the money, I think Jason Scott would put that up his ass. So
I can't second guess you on that. He's so damn cheap. He's like, Jesus Christ, I'm going through customs. I gotta shove this up my ass. Amanda will never know. Just be careful, Amanda. Make sure you soak it in some like dish soap before you put it on your finger. And even Kyle wouldn't do it.
Some rubbing alcohol.
Kyle's a madman.
So 18% of $55,440 is $9,979.20.
All right, that's a lot.
So almost $10,000.
It's not a place I like sticking things. You know, sometimes I'll try like a mussel or what do they call the snails? What are those?
Escargot?
I might try an escargot down my throat or something and not really like. Ain't anything going in the bunghole.
Well, I don't want to know what you're going to.
Choo-choo Stew would do that.
Of course he would.
He would.
I don't want to know what's going to go down your throat either. Just FYI.
I said escargot. Okay, that's like a snail, which might disgust some people, but I'm more apt. You'd be the same way. You're more apt to try something. Like if someone took some item you didn't like and said, try this food. And you go, oh, fuck, just a little bite. You wouldn't stick it up your ass.
No, of course
put a chili pepper up your fucking ass.
No, of course not. And I like how Amanda does agree that Jason probably would do this.
And Kyle says, exit only. I couldn't agree more.
Well, yeah, of course.
As bizarre as we are. So would you swallow the gold, ladies and gentlemen, if you needed to get Amanda that ring? If you were Jason Scott and you knew you were on that Domino's budget, but you had a woman that was a keeper, the woman that all of us here at Cave Crew Radio are lining up for, and you're the front of the line, you're Jason Scott, would you swallow the gold ring? I wonder if people would do that.
See, but I don't believe Jason Scott's on the Domino's budget on purpose. Jason Scott's probably a multimillionaire behind the scenes.
I gotta bust Jason Scott. I wish I would have saved the picture on Facebook. Poor Amanda was having a terrible day. I'm sorry for centering you out, Amanda. I know you're not in chat a lot. I'm not doing it in a meme way. She was having a bad day. She was dealing with the kids. She didn't feel like she looked appropriate, but Amanda without makeup is still a goddess. She's gorgeous. And anyway, she opened the door and she got flowers from Jason Scott. And I wish I had the yes, that's what I'm talking about now. And Jason wrote this, thank you for Jason Scott. I don't want to call you fake news, but no, it was a wonderful thing, and made Amanda's day. Great job, Jason Scott.
He's a romantic at heart.
Powderize that gold, tie it up in some latex. I'll shit it out later. See, I knew there was a compromise for Kyle James.
It's funny how Kyle immediately goes to that because you know what? Heroin traffickers do that.
Yeah.
Is that something maybe Kyle does in his off time? Traffic some heroin across the border, maybe.
I don't know. Kyle's a great guy. He's just, I knew there was a middle point. I didn't think he'd stick all those bars up his ass. I didn't read him as that, but a little bit of saving 18% here or there. Him and Jason are probably related. Anyway. Oh, we got to talk about this one. Hang on. Let me find it. I've got audio of this. I don't know if we're going to be able to understand it. How is Double K saying your golden butt plug?
Somebody hacked you. Somebody hacked you and put that in there. That's
okay. I have now been hacked.
I say it's Scotty.
I don't think Scotty has. How would Scotty do? He's not that smart. He has cats and dogs in his kitchen.
That's true.
Gotta be Choo-Choo Stew.
See, and Kyle says, yeah, a little. He traffics a little. No problem.
Anyway, great job, DK. That's a golden butt plug. We might keep that name of the show. All right. So this is another one that was on the Facebook page. And I actually have audio for this. And this kind of goes along well with Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Woman calls off. What's going on now?
It's Choo-Choo Stew. If you read it there,
I knew it was Stu.
He's posting his DK.
Choo-Choo Stew is a ghost. I do like this one though, a gold butt plug. Stu, you got to go back and listen to your. At least the great thing about Choo-Choo Stew is we could have had a mystery about this for episodes to come. We could have played sleuth and like Mr. Plum in the library with the ranch. No, Choo-Choo Stew's too fucking honest to admit it with him. Anyway, keep going, Choo-Choo Stew. I trust you. If it was Scotty, I'd be worried. Anyway, headline reads, if you haven't read it this week, folks. Woman calls off wedding with ghost after he kept disappearing. Halloween themed story. Her fiance totally ghosted her. A British woman. Imagine that. We're back to Britain again. Claims she got engaged to a ghost. I think we covered this before. Has now called off the wedding because he kept disappearing and started partying too much. We called off the wedding. Amethyst Realm, great name, beautiful girl. Amethyst Realm 32 said to a UK TV show this morning, he just completely changed. Realm said she fell in love with a sexy spirit named Ray. What a great name for a ghost. Ray. During a trip to Australia in 2018, and even consummated the relationship on the flight back home. Hold your questions. The paranormal Casanova later popped the question on their 9-month anniversary, and things were going well until a recent vacation in Thailand. I think maybe he fell in with a bad crowd when we were on holiday. He just started becoming really inconsiderate, Realm said. It was suddenly as if he didn't know a boo about romance, she told the show. He'd disappear for long periods of time. When he did come back, he'd bring back other spirits to the house, and they'd just stay around for days. I think he started doing drugs and partying too much. Ultimately, they agreed to break up. Now, I do have a small clip of audio just to prove to you this woman is real. Really hard accent. It would be great to have Stu here to help us. But anyway, listen to this.
We've called the wedding off. It was going really well until we went on holiday. And that was about last May. And then he just completely changed.
In what
just
way?
became So I think maybe he fell in with a bad crowd when we were on holiday. He just started becoming really inconsiderate. He'd disappear for long periods of time. When he did come back, he'd bring other spirits back to the house and they'd just stay around for days. So, yeah.
So this was Thailand you took him to, wasn't it? You went on a holiday to Thailand.
Yeah.
And so was there any explanation as to the people that he was bringing back with him? Because you thought he got into sort of drink and drugs.
Yeah, I think maybe he started doing drugs and partying a bit much. It's like they used to come back because his spirits would stay for days at a time and they'd be like crashing and banging, strange noises.
All right. Just to show you, this is a valid person with a real story. Questions, concerns, comments.
Why does it seem like the UK is the Florida of the world?
It's getting worse, isn't it?
It's either in the US, it's Florida. If you go outside of the US, it's always the UK.
This woman seems so heartbroken and serious.
She's a fucking lunatic. I want to know how they consummated the relationship, whatever it was, on the plane. Was she sitting in the seat?
Yeah, so we have to fill in the blanks.
Again, like we talked about last week, there's no follow-up, there's no closure to these things. So we have to figure it out. So how did she consummate the marriage on the flight? Did she go into the bathroom and pretend, or did she sit in her seat and pretend like she was jumping up and down on nothing? How did this work?
And what do you expect from a ghost? Now, we were speaking earlier about horror movies and, suspense and what scares us and what we believe in and yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. But one thing I'd expect from a ghost is they would disappear.
From time to time.
And the scary part is he came back with friends. She saw them all.
I want to know if you go to her house, does she have pictures of her and the ghost just like, hey, look.
This is like a bad version of Go Ask Alice.
This is Her and the fucking chick that divorced the tree or whatever the fuck it was.
These two should be best buddies. They should start a support group.
Oh my God, should they?
She's not a bad looking girl.
No, she's pretty. She's a fucking lunatic, though.
Like, could you imagine going and talking to her and about, hey, would you like to dance? Or, hey, can I buy you a drink? Or whatever your pickup line is. I don't know. It's been a long time for me. But, and then she turns out, no, I'm with Ray. Oh, Ray, it's just you and me in here. Oh, you don't see Ray? He's shooting pool. Like, I don't know.
Or you go sit on the chair next to her and she starts freaking out. Get up, you're crushing Ray.
You're crushing Ray. How could you do that, you inconsiderate prick? You don't get it, though. And listen, I'm going to get beat up and I'm going to get pummeled for this, but she doesn't look the role of someone that would need a Ray. Like, I would go and, of course, if I was single and younger, I would go and speak with, what was her name? Emerald or Amethyst or I don't remember. And the more pretty they are, the more insane they are.
Yes.
I read your mind, Kyle. That shows you how you and I are on the same. Once I knew you'd orally digest the gold and not stick it up your ass, we're bros now. We can kind of, we're on this. Anyway, back to the story. And then what drives these people to go on to, like, I think it's the fact they want to be on TV. They want to be on press. I married a tree. I consummated with a ghost. I got peed on in a plane. Like, all these stories we read makes me want to think you're just hungry for media attention.
Well, all right. Let's separate the chick that got peed on a plane because she didn't ask for it. She literally just got peed on a plane.
But she didn't turn down an interview. She was embarrassed to tell her work that she had to leave. But Fox News came along. She was right there.
Well, I grant you that. But, she may be looking to turn this into a book or a movie at some point. This chick that dates a ghost and fucking divorces a tree.
The book, and I'll watch the fucking movie. I will compress that and I will watch it.
If you're pretending to date a ghost and you're going to divorce a tree, you're just merely looking for attention.
Yeah.
That's the look at me, I'm important, I need to be somebody syndrome.
Well, wait a minute. With her, I kind of saw a story like, you know what? I'm a climate change activist. If I take possession of this 100-year oak tree and marry it, I'm putting my foot on the ground for, Smokey the Bear. The ghost doesn't fit.
They're all fucking lunatics. That's
but
the only
tree fits. The woman that married the tree, it kind of like, okay, she hates all humanity. She wants the trees and the plants and the fish and the birds to live. She's making a social statement, let's say.
Yes, and those people with those extreme views are fucking lunatics.
Well,
it's one thing to care about the environment and, don't kill all the trees in the rainforest to make paper and use recycling. 100% agree with that. But if you're a fucking lunatic that's going to go marry a fucking tree and make a big deal about it and try to make headlines about it, you're a fucking moron. You're a lunatic looking for attention. It has nothing to do with saving the environment at that point.
Right. I have to agree. I just realized I've done the whole show with half my head cut off. I have to rearrange the camera next week.
Oh, there's your puppy.
Oh, the Ziggy's all over the place. She follows me. Hello, Ziggy. Oh, no interest in me. Anyway, this woman called off her relationship with the thing. The rest of the stories are going to have to wait. Unless I squeeze one more, and this is a good one too.
Okay.
I got to find it though.
What the hell is that?
This is good. This is one way to send the people off. Hang on.
Look at this one chick grabbing the chick, two people in front of her trying to grab her ass. What's going on here? It's Sodland.
Porno land.
It's Sodland.
No, listen. Japanese producer opens sex-rated theme park. Okay. Even in this COVID stuff, a Japanese porn producer is opening a sex-rated adult theme park staffed with starlets. And COVID-19 be damned.
Mm-hmm.
SOD land, soft on demand.
Okay.
Wait, that don't make sense. Wouldn't you want to be hard on it? Anyway? Soft on demand is what it is. That could be a possible show name. Is slated to open October 10th, so 2 weeks ago, as a multi-floor extravaganza of bars and entertainment in the Kabukicho red light district of Tokyo's Shinjuku ward next month. Soft on demand chieftain Yoshiaki Nomoto said the establishment had been on the drawing board long before the onset of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Kabukicho really took care of me when I was a college student, one girl told the newspaper. Okay. Sodland features 4 floors and a basement, so 5 floors.
Right.
Each features a different theme. In the basement, newly minted, oh, this is great. Newly minted porn starlets will staff the space while industry vets will serve drinks on the 3rd floor.
Okay.
On the 2nd floor, women from the commercial sex industry are featured. The 4th floor is the silent bar where porn stars clad in bikinis can be gawked at by customers through a one-way mirror. Customers are barred from speaking.
I'll be right back. I have to go do something. 2 seconds.
Oh, great. Leave me with this one. I'll continue to read. On the 1st floor, a souvenir shop is loaded with porn DVDs, sex toy machines, and a photo booth. Soft on Demand owns 2 other porn-themed bars in Japan. Because of the pandemic, customers must wear masks, have their temperatures taken, and practice social distancing. The adult program also has established something that sounds like it comes from a samurai movie. The 3 defenses system includes the use. This is the best. He's putting on his thing again. The 3 defenses system includes the use of an alcohol-free disinfectant, ultraviolet rays, targeting the upper halves of the rooms, and the latest in air conditioning technology. In the end, I want everyone to watch AV porn, Nomoto said. The goal of this place is to get them home with a half bulge in their pants.
So this is like
I just said in the chat, any glory holes.
Well, and any I don't think Cave Crew Industries has been consulted to build the glory holes yet.
Yeah.
But this is like 42nd Street in the 70s and 80s with the porno theaters. That's basically what it is. It's a giant porno theater.
Right.
And I considering the fact that Japan has fucking vending machines where you can get used panties. Horny fucking Japanese businessmen wander around grabbing used panties and smelling them. I'm not surprised that this is a thing.
They're fucking nuts.
What?
The Japanese guys.
Yeah, they're fucking crazy perverts.
Kyle James wants to meet in Tokyo. We'll find you somewhere closer. Just give us a couple weeks. Yeah. I'd go if I was in Tokyo.
Well, I mean, It's Japanese. It's the culture. Either you're committing suicide or you're a horny fucking deviant. There's no in between in Japan.
I think those Japanese guys are like fucking rabbits.
It's crazy what goes on in that country.
I gotta go to Japan before I die. Take a fucking half pack of. I'll swallow the Viagra orally. I won't stick it up my ass, and I got to get to Japan. I got to check. Are the women as horny as the men, or the women just are like geishis and they just whatever?
I think they're more subservient. I think it's the just the culture that the men are just crazed, frothed up horn dogs.
And I want to bring this up again because I want you to look. Do they have like plastic surgery to make themselves? They always look like they're so young and they look like animes.
Well, that's what the horny Japanese businessmen like.
Kyle thinks Tokyo is got to be the ultimate crazy vacation. I'm always thought of Amsterdam myself, but I've never been to either. I just they look like sex dolls. They don't even look real.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, there you go. Sodland, soft on demand. Is that like some kind of quasi?
I don't know.
Like cartoon characters. That's what I'm saying. They look like anime. I agree. Are you still there?
I'm here. Yes, I'm looking at the pictures.
I just hope you're masturbating on a Zoom call.
No, I'm not pulling a tubin.
All right, good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got enough of you out there. We should get some help tonight because I only wrote one thing down again because I don't have a lot of time to do this shit while I'm navigating around the show. This is the point of the show, and I'm going to give you a time because I'm going to promote next week where we name the episode. We pick a saying or something funny and we say, this is what we should call the episode to catch everyone's attention. So I'm going to give you a minute, and I'm going to tell you next week, October 30th, Friday, is the Halloween special. Confirmed to appear is Raymond the Amish comic. Amish, I guess it would be. If you have not seen Raymond, it is worth stopping by. If he doesn't captivate you and you stay, you are welcome to leave. Raymond the Amish comic. He's been doing this segment on his show where he's like telling a scary show, not a scary show, but a scary story by a campfire. And he's agreed to do like a little segment of that for us, like a scary story by a campfire, which kind of fits the Halloween. The guy looks like Isaac from Children of the Corn. I don't care like what you say. And it's going to be fantastic. We also have confirmed, I don't trust them, and as far as I can throw them, but Choo Choo Stew, aka Commander Stew of the Starship Allotment, is apparently going to appear on our Halloween show. I have it from a good source that for at least a little while, the social influencer from TikTok, Bordeaux, will also appear because, of course, it is Bordeaux's favorite holiday as well. And Big B will don a costume for at least a few minutes until he sweats and can't breathe.
Wow, we're talking about an action-packed show next week.
I think it's the Halloween special. It's aside from the the half Christmas tree and the Thanksgiving specials and the other things we do throughout the year. I would say Shocktober, Halloween is a big deal.
It's turning out to be one of the biggest shows of the year.
I think it's going to be fun. It's season 7, ladies and gentlemen. So please come by and join us. And we promise you'll have a lot of fun. All right. I don't see any names, although I do like they look like cartoon characters was kind of a good line. And I also like what was the DK, aka Choo Choo Stew said, the golden butt plug.
Right.
Good one. All I wrote down is this, and then of course you probably have 4 or 5. Let's look at this from a normal human's standpoint. Captivated me. I wrote it down. I thought, that's a good one. Let's look at this from a normal human standpoint, which we are incapable of doing.
I could actually see that being an interesting name.
So I've written 1, 2, 3, and 4 because that's what you usually have.
I only have 3.
Oh, 3. I'll scratch 4 out then. In no particular order? Or?
Just from earliest to latest.
Yeah.
First off, he even put gravy on the potatoes. Of course, talking about the Thanksgiving dinner from Jason Scott.
I'm paying attention throughout the show. I just don't have time to write things down. He even put gravy on the potatoes. Yes, next one.
Next up, shopping malls and butter tarts.
That was sporadic, but remember these folks, you got to vote.
And finally, the third one I wrote, Ray the Cheating Ghost.
Yeah, I'm going to cross that out. I don't like it. All right, folks. I'm crossing out Ray the Cheating Ghost. That doesn't make it. The Golden Butt Plug looks... Let's look at Let's look at this from a normal human standpoint. I've kind of made my mind up on this one, but he even put gravy on the potatoes and shopping malls and butter tarts. And the crowd's going to go silent for the first time tonight. As you would say in a normal situation, you don't normally like to ring your own bell or say, but I think I got to run with this. I really like he even put gravy on the potatoes, but I'm going to go with shopping malls and butter tarts.
And that was my favorite as well.
All right. So since none of you speak up when it's time to name the show, the name of the show is Shopping Malls and Butter Tarts. I don't know where I came up with that, but
I have no idea, but it was funny.
I think I was struggling, and I was like, it was like shopping mall, and I was trying to think of something that went with shopping malls, and that's the only thing that came into mind. So shopping malls and butter tarts it is, ladies and gentlemen. Next week is a show you won't want to miss. If you miss Commander Stu, a.k.a. Choo Choo Stu, Big B and myself, of course, are always here, and Raymond, the Amish comic, will be here as well, and apparently a very short appearance by Bordeaux, the social influencer. So hang out with us and come on down. We'll see you next week.
Later.
See you, kids. As I look for the button again.
Bye all.
Bye all.
Alvida Zane.
You are listening to Cave Crew Radio, available on demand and live at cavecrewradio.com.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Oh, it's doing it again.